Okay, inshallah. I think we're ready to get started. Everybody can hear me? All right. Ina alhamdulillah. Wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I'd like to welcome everybody to our Akida class. And this is our series entitled The Allies of Allah. And again, I want everyone to understand that the whole purpose excuse me, the whole purpose of my teaching this series is not for you or for I to go around trying to figure out who's an ally of Allah, who's an ally of Shaitan. No. The purpose of me teaching this is like the Prophet told the companions, so you can see if you yourself have the characteristics that are defining as to whether or not you are allied with Allah or you're allied with Shaitan. That's what Islam is all about. You know, we were created to worship Allah. We were put here on this earth to be tested in our belief in Him. And every day of our lives, we should spend them, doing a lot of self-evaluation, asking ourselves, am I exhibiting the behavior that's indicative, of a true believer or not? Okay. Walaikum salam, Mom. My mother's here. Fresno, my mother's here. Fresno. Anissa. Can y'all hear me in the Zoom room? Make sure they can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Wait, take my mother's here, Anissa. She's in here listening. She's in the Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, she's on faith. By the way, Mom, Anissa's doing better. Tell her how you doing, Anissa.
I'm doing okay, and I'm praying for you every single solitary moment I can pray.
Yeah, tell her about your cast right quick. The boot. I was telling her about you got that boot finally.
I don't have a boot. No boot.
Oh, they did the mold for it.
Tennis shoe, no. But I'm getting a cast to wear diabetic shoes to protect my foot.
Oh.
Yes.
So yeah, she'll be wearing those diabetic shoes to protect her feet, Mom.
Yeah, and they're nice. They look real good shoes. Kind of look like Skechers.
Oh, they look like Skechers?
Yeah, they're really nice shoes. They don't give you those crazy looking shoes anymore.
Oh, that's good. That's good. But alhamdulillah, how's your sciatic pain for her?
That's good. My sciatic pain is good.
She typing out alhamdulillah.
Lyrica and tie design.
Mm-hmm. Tell her your medications again. What are you taking again?
Lyrica and Tizodine. It's a muscle relaxer. And Lyrica is for nerves. Mm-hmm. It is for nerves.
And it takes care of that sciatic pain down your legs?
I think that's what's keeping me okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, inshallah, that's what they're going to probably end up putting her on. Because that sounds like what my daughter said, too. Once that she get everything else out of her system. Inshallah.
Yes.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, just wanted a little chit chat there. Okay. Thank you, Anissa, because she's always asking about you.
You're welcome. Yes.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So, yes, the whole purpose of me doing this series is for everybody to do self-reflection. And like the Prophet told the companions, to check yourself to see if you are exhibiting the behavior and the character that is pleasing to Allah or that which is pleasing to Shaitan. If we would do a lot of self-evaluation like that, not only would that keep our connection with Allah strong, but also it'll make us think twice before we make decisions. We would weigh all of our choices in life. We would weigh all of our decisions in life based on what Allah likes and what He dislikes. Walaikum salam, Sister Annette. Good to see you here. My mother said that she hurt so bad that she cried today, Anissa. She said, I love you for the sake of Allah. I hurt so bad that I cried today, but she's all right now.
They need to give her pain pills.
Yeah, well, they kept her on just the tramadol, but she can only take one twice a day.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff that they said they would give her is, like you said, it's not a narc, but she can't take into that other stuff they gave her is out of her system.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad. Yeah, so that's what happens, guys. And by the way, guys, when you talked today with Dr. Asim about tranquility, peace of mind, tranquility, if we were more aware, of our character and our behaviors, and we made sure that our character and our behavior is that which is pleasing to Allah, it would bring about, more peace, inner peace within ourselves, because that's what it's all about, pleasing Allah. So that's what this whole series is about, trying to develop the character and the mannerisms that are pleasing to Allah, so that should Allah take your soul, because he can take it at any time. Should Allah take your soul goes in good standing in regards to its relationship with Allah, so that when you are in that grave, your soul will not be placed in the hellfire. Instead, Allah will take mercy upon you, and your soul will be in the form of a green bird flying around the throne of Allah. That's what we all want. We don't want to be punished in our graves, and we don't want to be punished on the day of judgment. We want to be of the right hand. We want to be of the right hand, not the left. Who are the people of the left hand? These are the people that will do time in hell. They will be in hell. They're the unbelievers. And we don't want to be in the third group of sinful Muslims either, because the sinful Muslims, they may have to do some time in hell too. We want to be of the right hand. The right hand and the forerunners, they will serve no time in hell at all. Why? Because Allah has promised. This is a promise that Allah made to us. And Allah doesn't break his promises. Allah said anyone who earns his love, he promises he will never allow the hellfire to touch you. So that's what it's all about. We want to die having earned Allah's love. So let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen for tonight's lecture. And I'm going to start off with a quiz for you guys. But just three, I think I got just two questions. I think I just made two questions for you guys. And what we're going to speak about tonight is this. Tonight, I'm going to speak about the reality that in order to be an ally of Allah, you have to accept the reality that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to all human beings and all jinn. And I know that sounds simple, but it isn't. Do you guys know that there are some people who call themselves Muslims today that believe that the Prophet Muhammad was only sent to the Arabs? Tell you what race they are. We also got some groups, that believe that the Prophet Muhammad was not sent to the jinn, that he was only sent to the humans. So we're going to talk about this today. Again, the allies of Allah, they are upon the correct belief system. They believe everything that Allah commanded them to believe in. They don't pick and choose. But unfortunately, being that we're living in the days of the Ruwaybida, we're living in the era that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam warned of, the era when Islam will become strange. We are that era. We are that era of Islam being strange and the Sunnah forgotten by many and abandoned by most. So we'll talk about that. But before we get to that, I got a couple of questions for you guys. What do you guys think about this question? If a person wants to seclude himself in a cave, is this something good for that person to do? You just want to get away from everything. I just want to go and just be alone inside a cave so I can think about my Lord, think about my life, and make plans. And if you think that it is a good thing, tell us why you believe it's good. And if you think that it's, wait a minute, my mouse. And if you think it's not a good thing, tell us why you think it's not. Who would like to start us off tonight?
It's not a good thing because the jinns live in the cave.
MashaAllah, that's one of the kids. MashaAllah, what do y'all think of his answer? He said that secluding yourself inside a cave is not a good thing to do because the jinn live in that. Do y'all agree with what he's saying?
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. MashaAllah. Anybody else want to comment a little more on it? Any of the adults? What about this? You'll come upon a Muslim that'll tell you the Prophet Muhammad used to seek refuge in a cave. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he wanted to be alone by himself, he would go oftentimes to the cave. So what's wrong with that? How would y'all respond to him? What would you say in response to that, guys?
That was before he received the revelation. And even then he was scared of Angel Jibreel. So if you want to seclude yourself, you can do it in your home or at the masjid. Don't do it in a place where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us to seek refuge from.
Exactly. Yes, the Prophet did do that, but that was before he received the call to prophethood. That's what he used to do before he became a prophet. After the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam became a prophet, where did he seek refuge at? If he wanted to be alone to get close to Allah and ponder his life, where would he seclude himself at? Anyone? You guys don't remember?
In the cave Hijra? Our prophet was in that cave Hijra. Am I saying that right?
Okay. You and Geechee both said that he would seclude himself in Mount Hira. Do y'all agree with that answer?
No, that was before the revelation.
So answer my question. Can anybody tell me, where did the Prophet Muhammad seclude himself after he received the call to prophethood?
At the mosque.
At the mosque.
The
You got,
mosque,
yeah, we Muslims have to wake up. The Prophet Muhammad did not seclude himself at Mount Hira.
Yeah.
When he became a prophet. Right. Why? Because that's where the jinn live. Yeah. That's what we were talking about. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would do that before Allah made him a prophet. After he was made a prophet, he never sought seclusion anywhere but at the mosque. At the mosque. At the mosque. Everybody remember that now? So if you brothers want to be secluded away from things, go to the mosque. What about a woman? Can a woman do seclusion in her house during the month of Ramadan?
She should do seclusion in her home, because our Prophet says she gets more blessings by being in her home. She gets more blessings.
Do y'all agree with her answer? During the month of Ramadan, do we do our seclusion in our homes?
Seclusion is only
No, you go to the mosque.
Exactly. Seclusion is only at the mosque. Only at the mosque. I want every Muslim, old and new, to write this down, because this is more Sufi propaganda. Remember, I tell you, most American Muslims are either Murjia or Jamia. Murjia and Jamia, these are two Sufi groups. And most American Muslims fall in those two categories. The people of the Sunnah are few. Even though you find people calling themselves Salafi, they're not really Salafi. The fact that they call them that themselves, that shows they ain't, to be honest. Okay? Because the companions never called themselves no Salafi. All right? So I want everybody to write this down. Seclusion. Allah tells us this in the Quran. The only place that any of us can seclude ourselves to get close to him is through the mosque. The masjids are the house of Allah. And Allah says in the Quran, the houses of Allah are manned by the believers. That's your dalil. So when Ramadan begins, if you sisters want to do itikaf, that's the Arabic word. The Arabic word for seclusion is itikaf. Itikaf can only be performed at the masjid, not in your house. Everybody got that? There's a lot of fabricated hadiths too that says Aisha used to do itikaf in her house. That's not true. That's a lie. Itikaf is only done at the mosque. That's the place of worship. All right? Y'all got that written down? Let's get that Murjia and that Jamia belief out of here. Where's people of the Sunnah now? Okay, next question. What about this? So many people say that they have seen big apes that resemble men when they go camping. In other words, Sasquatch. I saw Bigfoot. I saw Sasquatch. We hear of these sightings all the time by Muslims too. So how would you explain this? How would you explain the sightings that people have of Bigfoot, Sasquatch? If you live out in Alaska, you got Muslims that have seen the abominable snowman and all that. How would somebody explain that? How do we explain this phenomenon? Anyone?
You're actually seeing Jinn. Jinn played with them out there. That's where the jinns are, in the forest.
Okay, anyone else? Zoom room, wake up. Anyone else?
I'll say the same thing Sister Anissa said. So that's where the jinn live at, in the different areas of the cave, the mountains and woods and all those things. And they take on appearance of to make you believe that that's a man with hair on him, Bigfoot, domino slow man, and all those type of things. They take on that type of appearance.
Why do they do that? Why would they even take on an appearance at all? Anyone else?
They would take on that appearance because they do what Allah say for them to do, to stay away from mankind. So that's why they would take on an appearance to scare you away.
Okay, any other? That's one reason. They'll take on those appearances to scare you away from them if they're believing jinn, because the temptation to harm you is great. What's another reason they would do that? Go ahead.
Protecting their families and livestock and so forth.
Exactly. So when you hear people say that they went camping in the woods, or they were camping in the forest, or in the mountains, or in the desert, they saw Sasquatch, or I was on a snow expedition. I was hiking in the snow in Alaska, and we saw the abominable snowman. These people are not making it up, because those are the places where the jinn live. And if they are believing jinn, as Latifah said, they're going to take on an appearance to try to scare you away. Because if they know that getting close to you, or you coming close in their territory, is going to trigger a response from them, because they're weak to humans. The desire to hurt you is great. So that's why Allah commanded them to stay away. And if they're not believing jinn, they may want to do things to you. And also, you know, the jinn have families. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about the jinn in this class, and not in this class, but my next series. The jinn have families, they have children, they have animals, and they live amongst us. We just can't see them. They're part of the unseen world. And so they may be trying to scare you away so that their children don't get hurt by your fire, or their children won't end up falling victim to disobedience of Allah. So those stories about sightings of Sasquatch and Bigfoot and stuff like that are true. Even the Loch Ness Monster, that can be true too, because it's an area where the jinn live, in the mountains, the woods, the forests. You're too close to them, so they'll take on the appearance of an animal that's scary, just to scare you away, so you'll go find some other place to make your campsite. So that's how we as Muslims explain that phenomena. Kafirs come up with their own crap, but ours is based on what Allah said and what the Prophet said, and Allah and his messenger told us. The Prophet told us that the jinn do this for these reasons. Okay? Where's those hadiths? Bukhari and Muslim. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, the last question, I'm going to name a few things. And I want you guys to tell me if this is a bid'ah. Because yesterday we spoke about innovation. We spoke yesterday about how those people who innovate in this religion, are they allies of Allah or are they allies of Shaitan? Who can answer that? Those who innovate in our religion, are they allies of Allah or are they allies of Shaitan? What's the answer?
Allies of Shaitan.
And why? Why are they allies of Shaitan, Latifa?
They're allies of Shaitan because they are going against what Allah say by introducing something that's haram into the religion.
Good job. Remember, guys, anytime that we deliberately, good job, Annette. Good job, Kadia, too. Good job, Sakina. Anytime we deliberately, intentionally disobey Allah or do something that we shouldn't do, that puts us in allegiance with Shaitan. It takes us out of allegiance with Allah. So we talked about that yesterday. The people who innovate in our religion. And when we talk about innovating in a religion, how do I do that? What is it? When we talk about innovation in religion, what are we speaking about? Can anybody tell me what bid'ah or what innovation is? What does it mean in English? To do what?
Innovation means to introduce something new to the religion that has something to do with worship and Allah.
Good job. Who was that? Was that Tony?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Mashallah, beautifully said, Tony. Did the girls know that answer too?
Yes, they always telling me to answer. Mama, answer.
Okay, good. So good. I'm proud of y'all. Exactly, because as we saw yesterday, when I taught this class yesterday, we had a brother here named Harun. I banned him. Y'all see, he can't come in. He's banned. But we had a brother named Harun who didn't know what innovation is. Okay, innovation is to introduce something into the way we worship that was not introduced by Allah or his messenger. So any actions of worship that were not performed by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or his companions, we don't do. And if Muslims understood the meaning of innovation, then we wouldn't do the things that we do. So this is a quiz. I'm going to name stuff. Let me put the first one. What about this? Eating. Wait, let me put this is my PowerPoint. Hold on. The first, eating with a fork. Is this innovation in a religion? To eat using a fork and a knife and a spoon. Is this innovation in a religion? What do you guys think?
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with the religion.
Okay. Why do you think it's not?
Worship. Yeah.
Exactly. Who said worship?
Laylee.
Good job, Laylee. It has nothing to do with worship. Remember, don't say religion. Say worship. It has to deal with worship in order to be a bid'ah, an innovation. So if I eat using a fork, a knife, a spoon, and a napkin, some Muslims may come upon me. In fact, wallahi, this happened one time. When I was married to the old man. Old man, salam alaikum. Hello, y'all know old man watches. When I was married to Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atlee, may Allah bless him, forgive him of his sins. Ameen. I'll never forget, we were invited to a Muslim's house to eat dinner in Texas. You know, I got all kinds of stories about Texas. Okay. I'll never forget when I went to sit with the sisters, we were separate in a separate accommodation. And the food was laid out, you know, a big bowl in front of us. And everybody went to dip their hands. I said, excuse me, hold up. You know, Layla, excuse me. I said, let me get a plate. They looked at me. I said, do you have any paper plates? Oh, yes. One of the kids, her daughter brought me a paper plate. I said, and she brought me some forks and spoons. So I took some food out and put it on my plate. And I said, okay, y'all can go ahead. And all the sisters were looking at me. And then I said, what, something wrong? And they said, you're going to innovate and eat off a plate and use a fork and knife? They said, it's the Sunnah. It's the Sunnah. You hear people say this all the time. I get so tired of it's the Sunnah. It's the Sunnah. It's from the Sunnah that we eat with our hands from the bowl in front of us. I said, excuse me. I said, do you know what it means to say something is from the Sunnah? I said, it's Arabic culture. Back in the 6th century, it was the culture. Y'all know I'm a history person, got a degree in it. I said, it's from the culture of the Arabs of the 6th century. And also it's the culture of Persians too, to eat using the 3 fingers and the thumb of their right hand, because they weren't from a society and climate that use silverware and plates and stuff. That wasn't their culture. I said, but is something that was cultural in the 6th century something that we have to do today? I said, if the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam were living today, do you guys think that if he was invited to the United Nations to speak and to eat with the other dignitaries of the United Nations, do you guys think the Prophet Muhammad would dip his hand into a bowl and request a bowl and eat with his fingers? Or do you guys think the Prophet Muhammad would use a fork, a knife, and a spoon? Y'all want to know what the women did? What did they do? What? Tell me what they did, y'all. This is Texas. We going to tell the sheikh They jumped up. That's why I ain't married. Jumped up. We going to tell the sheikh on you. They went to the old man. Layla Nashiba, she won't follow the sunnah with us and eat with us. And he sat there and listened. I stood back in the back and watched. He grinned that grin that he would make. Then he looked up and said, she's right. Enjoy your meal. And he turned and walked away from them. And the sisters looked stupid, you know? So again, guys, eating with a fork, eating with a knife and a spoon is not an innovation. First of all, innovation has to do with actions of worship. Okay? Secondly, don't say something is a sunnah when you don't understand what the difference between a sunnah and culture. A sunnah is something that the prophet did that if we do, it'll bring about more rewards for us. For example, the sunnah rakats of Fajr. The prophet would pray 2 sunnah rakats for Fajr. If we do that, that's blessings. Okay? So learn the difference between what a sunnah is and what culture is. Okay? And and I always, when I teach about innovation, I always use eating with a fork and spoon as an example, because there's a lot of Muslims out there that think that it's haram to use a fork, a knife, and a spoon, that we Muslims are supposed to eat with our fingers. No. And the reason why I didn't do that is because I am OCD. Anybody that knows Layla Nashiba, that's just me. I don't eat from the same bowl with anyone unless you my husband, or you are my mother, or my sister, or my brothers, or my children. I will only eat from the same dish with my family people because I am OCD. I'm a germ phobic. And I know that people don't wash their hands. I know people like to dig certain places, you know, and they don't clean their hands. All right. So you got to be family. And my family wash their hands because they're like me. They all OCD, including my mother. Okay. So that's not an innovation. Good job on that answer. What about this? Let me put another example up here. What about this? Using the internet. Is this innovation in Islam? Using social media and the internet. Facebook, YouTube. Okay.
No, it's not.
Okay, good job. And Kadia said no too. Good job, Pamela too. They said no because it has nothing to do with worship. Exactly, Kadia too. Again, and this was the problem we had yesterday. The brother Harun, remember brother Harun? He said that I was an innovator. He said that I was an innovator because I am giving dawah using the internet. Y'all remember when he typed that? He didn't know what innovation is. Again, innovation is to introduce something new into how we worship our Lord. Any action of worship will be rejected if you cannot show that Allah said do that, or the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did that. So social media ain't got nothing to do with worshiping Allah. It ain't got nothing to do with religion. It's not an innovation. What about this? Twirling around and jumping up, believing that if you get dizzy, you'll become closer to Allah. Is that an action of worship? Jimmy likes to twirl and jump up and down because when he twirls and jumps up and down, it brings him close to Allah. He feels a connection to Allah. Is that an innovation?
Yeah, that's innovation.
Why?
Because you're introducing something into the religion, a form of worship.
Good job. Exactly. If jumping up and down strengthens your connection to Allah, then there should be a hadith where the Prophet Muhammad used to jump up and down when he worshiped, or twirl around in a circle when he worshiped. If the Prophet didn't jump up and down or twirl around, then I'm sorry, you are an innovator. Good job, Annette. Good job, Ahmed. Good job, Sakina. Good job, all of you. I wish that brother Harun was here, but I had to ban him. Okay? What about this? Rinsing your eyes when you make wudu. Every time you make wudu, you wash your face and you think that rinsing the eyes is a good thing to do with the wudu too, to make sure you're clean. So when you make wudu, you wash your face and hey, you doing them eyes. Is that an innovation? Why or why not? Is that innovation?
Yes, because you introduced something new.
New where? What's new? Anybody else?
How about you making wudu?
Exactly. Is that part of the wudu? Did the Prophet Muhammad tell us that when we make wudu to include your eyes? No, that's an innovation. And remember, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also told us that wudu has to be made in a certain sequence, a certain way, a certain sequence. Where's the eyes at in that sequence? Where's the eyes at as part of the places to be washed?
The face.
Okay.
Yeah, the face.
Okay. So, but the Prophet did his face, but as part of the face, did he do his eyes? Is that a part of the face that he did?
No.
No.
Because I go around.
Right. There's no hadith where the Prophet said included on the face is the eye. After you wash your face, rinse your eyes. There's no such thing. But what about this? What if a person says, well, the hadith in Bukhari and Muslim doesn't mention the ears. The face is the eyes are part of the face. Just like there's no hadith that mentions the ears. How would you respond to that, guys?
The ears are part of the face, part of the head. That's that whole
Well, the
section.
eyes are part of the face. What's the difference?
You don't go inside the eyes.
Listen. And this is a question that you may hear. It's a question that I had to address when I was married to the old man and made Hajj. I had one of the worst Hajj experiences ever. A woman made wudu. She washed her face and did both her eyes. And I asked her, why are you doing that? She said the eyes are part of the face, just like the nose and mouth are part of the face. She said, just like the ears are part of the head. What would you say to that? Y'all can't think? It's common sense. Did the Prophet mention the ears? That's how she came back, Mina. Did the Prophet mention anything about the ears in that hadith? The ears are not mentioned. So how do you come back? The Prophet didn't say ears. He did not mention ears. How do y'all come back with it? The answer is very simple.
I was gonna say, well, since you just said that he didn't mention the ears or anything like that, just say he didn't mention the ears and he didn't mention the eyes. It wasn't one of the pillars of wudu.
Okay, this is where you have to know the order. Our religion is based on two sources: the book of Allah, which is the Quran, and the hadiths of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also, when it comes to practicing this religion, we have to practice it with the understanding of whom, guys?
Companions.
The understanding of the companions. That's why y'all got to learn them companions. Ibn Abbas, Ibn Umar, and Aisha, radiallahu anha, to them all. They all explained the ears are part of the head. So whenever the Prophet Muhammad did his head, in fact, it's Ibn Abbas's hadith. Whenever the Prophet Muhammad did his head and Ibn Umar showed and Ibn Abbas showed, he would also take the thumbs and do the ears. And also Aisha showed that too. The Prophet said, wipe the head. And whenever he wiped the head, he included the ears with his thumb. But when we read the hadith, is there any hadith that says whenever the Prophet did his face, he did the eyes? Is there, guys? No. Did any of the companions say that when they saw the Prophet make wudu and wash his face, he included his eyes? Nope.
No.
We got hadiths that where the companions said he did the mouth and the nose.
Yeah.
And even hadiths about the beard. But you ain't gonna find no hadith on planet Earth that's authentic that says the companion said that he said that the eyes are part of the face and he rinsed his eyes too. Now do y'all see why I didn't stay married to the old man long? The women hated me. The innovators hated Layla Nashiba. Okay, because they couldn't come at me with that dumb Yankee skank stuff. Women are treacherous. Women are very treacherous. Okay? So, when it comes to actions of worship, and making wudu is an act of worship, it has to be done the way the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us to do it. And his companions mention many hadiths as to how the Prophet taught them to make wudu. And rinsing the eyes as a part of the wudu has never been mentioned by any of them. Okay, what about this? So that's an innovation. What about this? You decide that you think it's kind of weird that all the prayers during the afternoon and evening are 4 rakats except for Maghrib. So you decide, I just don't feel right making 3. So I'm going to start praying 4 rakats for Maghrib. And I'm going to get extra blessings for it too, because it's more rakats. Is that a bid'ah? Is that an innovation?
Yes, it is. The Prophet never did it.
Right, yes, exactly. We're supposed to pray the 3 rakats for Maghrib.
Exactly. Go ahead.
And also, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said when we do an action, it must be done the way Allah legislated. And if not, then it won't be accepted.
Exactly. And that's what I was looking for with the answer about rinsing the eyes. When it comes to our actions of worship, they must also be performed. That's why I said certain sequence, certain time, way. They have to be performed the way Allah legislated, the way the Prophet Muhammad showed us and taught us. The hadith show that he included the ears when he did his head. The hadith showed that he would include the beard when he did the face. But you ain't gonna find no hadith that says he did the eyeballs too when he did the nose and mouth. The same with praying 4 rakats. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us Maghrib is a specific number. The specific number of rakats for Maghrib are 3. You can't change that. That's an act of worship. It's legislated by Allah to be 3. Just like the wudu was legislated to include the ears and the nose and the mouth as sunnah actions. That's sunnah. The word sunnah refers to something that the Prophet used to do that'll bring more reward. If I made wudu and didn't do my mouth and nose, my wudu is still accepted. But I get better rewards if I included my nose and mouth because that's part of the sunnah. Eating with a fork, there's nothing in Islam that says if I eat using my hands, I'm getting more reward. That was culture. That had nothing to do with worship or religion or anything else. The Arabs didn't use silverware. SubhanAllah, that's just was not their culture. Okay? And they weren't the only ones. Most people in the Middle East and that part of the world didn't. Okay? So praying 4 rakats instead of 3, this is innovation because it's legislated. Maghrib is legislated to consist of just 3 rakats, not 4. So now do you guys understand? What about this? What about this? Why is it that we don't celebrate Christmas? Why is it that as Muslims, we don't participate in Christmas? Can anybody tell me? Why is it that we don't celebrate nor participate in Christmas?
I don't ever remember reading anywhere where it says that the Prophet celebrated Christmas or that Allah told us to celebrate Christmas. So that's why I don't.
Okay, but what else? What is it about Christmas? What is it about Christmas that could be a bid'ah or an innovation for us? And by the way, there's a thin line between innovation and shirk. We'll talk about that in another class. But what is it about Christmas? Would Christmas fall into this and to being a bid'ah for us, an innovation for us? If I decided to decorate my house for Christmas, if I decided to put up lights like a lot of these Arabs do for Christmas, if I decided to buy a Christmas tree and put it in my house to celebrate Christmas for the kids, would this, not to say that I'm worshiping Allah, but just for the kids, would this be a bid'ah? Would this be an innovation based on the meaning of bid'ah or innovation in Islam? What do y'all think? This is a question of fiqh, a question of understanding. This will show me if y'all understand what I taught you about innovation. If I went out and bought a Christmas tree, put it in my house, put decorations on my patio for Christmas, I don't believe that Jesus is the Son of God. I ain't celebrating Jesus' birthday, but is this an innovation? Okay, why is it, Brother Ahmed? Why is it an innovation? Why does it fall in the category of bid'ah? Innovation has to do with what? Where's Layla? Is Layla here in that Zoom? I want to hear Layla answer.
Yeah.
Let me hear you answer. Go ahead.
I would say, I would say it was imitating the kuffar.
No, not imitation. I want you to relate this to bid'ah. Does it relate to bid'ah? Innovation?
Yes, because this doesn't have anything to do with our religion, and it doesn't align with our belief system, right?
Okay, yeah, you got it. I mean, but I'm trying to push y'all to think even more.
I know it's wrong, but I don't know if it would be
okay,
under the category of wala barat.
No, yeah, we know that. But I want y'all, I'm trying to get y'all to answer. Y'all know it's wrong. We don't do it. But I'm trying to get to see if y'all understand what innovation in religion is. Innovation relates to introducing something new into the way we worship Allah. So let's say a Muslim goes out and buys a Christmas tree and puts Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on his balcony. Can we relate that to innovation? And if so, how? I'm trying to push y'all to think.
I would say that we can relate it to innovation because it's a holiday, and as Muslims, the Prophet, peace be upon him, already told us that we only have 2 holidays that us Muslims celebrate.
Okay, that's holiday. Bid'ah. Innovation. What does it mean to innovate? Innovate means to introduce something new into how we worship Allah. So, is buying a Christmas tree, putting up decorations during this time of year. I want y'all to think.
The non-believers, they around this time of year, they bring out for their form of worship of celebrating Christmas. They got the lights and the trees and whatnot, so that's their form of worship.
So if you do it, what does that do to you? Is this bid'ah for you?
It is bid'ah.
Yeah, so related to that, guys, I'm trying to teach y'all how to think. Good job, Geechee. Okay, this time of year. This is worship for the Christians. The Christians worship Jesus as their Lord. They worship Mary. They worship a lot of things. Some of them worship the trees. Oh yeah, we got the Vikings. You know, I'm part Viking. The Vikings worship the tree god. That's how the evergreen tree got involved with Christmas. Okay? So this whole season, the whole season of Christmas has to do with worshiping something other than Allah. Their lights, their trees, their decorations, their jingle bell songs, it all relates to worshiping something other than Allah. So if you or I, a Muslim, during this time of year went and decorated our houses like they're doing and stuff, we are introducing a bid'ah. You are innovating in this religion because, yes, it relates to worship. You are participating in another people worshiping something other than Allah. And the simple fact that you are participating in the problem, it does what? It makes you a part of the problem. So yes, it would be a bid'ah. Y'all see how I answered that? I want y'all to be able to train your brain to focus on one thing. That's the left side. Bid'ah. You guys did an excellent job with the imitation and allegiance. Yeah, we already know it's showing allegiance someplace else. I want y'all to make it a bid'ah. Tell me how it relates to bid'ah. And that's when you think about all what innovation means, to worship something other than Allah. Even though you say you're not worshiping Jesus, even though you say you're not worshiping anything during this time of year, you're participating, aren't you? You're participating in it. And what does Allah say about participating in anything? That means you're a part of it. So you are an innovator. You are a person of bid'ah. Does that make sense, Layla?
Yes.
You were good though. You did good. You were almost there.
I was trying to wrap my brain around that because I had a friend that she's Muslim, and I told her, I said, what are you doing with this decoration? She said, this is winter wonderland. It's not Christmas. It doesn't have anything to do with Christmas. Mm-hmm. But still, I was thinking, how can I explain to her?
She's a bid'ah. Tell her you're an innovator. Yeah. You're innovating. You're taking part in their, this is their season. Now, she did this stuff, you know, after their holiday was over or something. Let me tell you, like, my daughter got a nice little house, and in the fall, she changes her, you know how you decorate your outside of your house? She bought her a little scarecrow and some corn stalks and junk. You know how y'all decorate. I don't own a house. But she put her little fall stuff out in September. And she said, and she told me, she said, Mom, when you come visit me, you better not accuse me of no Halloween. So this ain't got nothing to do. It ain't even time for Halloween, but you know how fanatical you are as a Muslim. She always calls me a fanatic. Girl, I said, I may be fanatical, but I ain't stupid. I know the difference between people celebrating Halloween and you putting out your fall stuff for the house. And she got winter stuff out. Her winter stuff she put out when we had our first snow after Halloween. She got a little snowman. That's all. A big blow up snowman that lights up. And she got some fake snow. Well, I bet she picked it up because it's real snow outside now. And when I came over to her house, she said, I thought you was going to accuse me of decorating for the holidays. I said, I know you're decorating for the season. That's different. Okay, and it ain't nothing to do with Christmas. I said, you got a snowman and some fake snow. I said, and a wheelbarrow. Well, I don't know what the wheelbarrow was for, but it looks cute. Made her the outside of her house look cute. That's something different. But now you got a Muslim like I got over here where I live. There's some Arabs that live over here where I live. They got their balconies all decorated with stars, and you can tell it's Christmas stuff. You know, Arabs are big on celebrating holidays. You know, they like it. Oh, it's for the children. No, it's for the innovation. And then when Christmas goes, they take it down. I'm like, where's your holiday stuff? Where's your seasonal stuff? You done took it down after Christmas. If it was seasonal, it'd be up the whole winter. And it wouldn't resemble the Kafirs. Remember, we don't resemble them. Like I said, my daughter's stuff didn't look nothing like Halloween. And it don't look nothing like Christmas. It looks seasonal. But if this woman got a winter wonderland, what is a winter wonderland? Christmas. So bid'ah, innovation, it destroys this religion. Innovation is dangerous because people innovate and your personal jinn will make you think, like she said her friend thinks, is that you're just doing a winter wonderland, that it's not innovation. Innovation is going to be the downfall for a lot of us as Muslims. A lot of Muslims will be in a hellfire because they introduced into our way of worship things they shouldn't have by participating in it stuff too. That's why we tell you guys, when people say happy holidays to you, your response should be, and the same to you, because that was the response the prophet gave. Wa alaikum, wa alaikum, wa alaikum. So that way you're not hurting people where they can end up attacking you, and you're not participating. You don't say happy holidays back. That's why when people say happy birthday to you, you don't say, girl, drop it like it's hot. Wa alaikum, keep it moving. That's why we don't tell people happy birthday, happy new year. Happy Easter, Happy Halloween, because you are innovating, you are participating by introducing something new into how we worship that Allah didn't give us the sanction to do. Okay? Okay, Brother Ahmed, Arabic is a language. It is not a religion. The Prophet Muhammad spoke Arabic, and his response was wa alaikum. But would I say wa alaikum to an American who speaks English? No, I would say and the same to you, because that's what wa alaikum translates into English to mean. And the same to you. That's what it means in English. Y'all got to stop thinking that Arabic is a religion. We don't worship nothing but Allah. We don't worship a language. Y'all got to get out of that language crap. You say wa alaikum to a person in the hood, they're going to think that you cussed them. They're going to take out their gun and blow your head off. So you say wa alaikum, you say and the same to you, and keep it moving. Okay? Y'all got to use common sense. Okay, so that's innovation. Any questions about innovation? Do y'all understand a little bit more about what innovation is?
Yes, Sister Layla. Also, at the masjid, they had not trick or treat, but it was kind of like, so it was like but they didn't say it was Halloween, but they called it something else. Yeah, that would be an innovation.
That's innovation, and Texas is big on that. The mosques in Texas celebrate Halloween. But instead of calling it Halloween and trick or treat, they call it movie night. And they come in and give out candy. It's just, that's the same thing. But like I said, you got a lot of Sufis in Texas. Murjia, Jamia, you're in Murjia. Your people that call themselves scholars down there are mystic Sufis. The Sufis resemble the Christians more than any other group. Okay? So instead of doing Halloween in Texas, they have movie night, game night for Halloween. And that is ridiculous because all you doing is celebrating Halloween with the kids. We don't take part in that crap. On their holidays, we don't do nothing. We don't sit there and compete with them. We don't do that. The prophet didn't get dressed up and put a manger out in the desert because it was Christmas. We don't do that. You know, we just do well, el-bara. We distance ourselves from the unbelievers. But, you know, you're down there in Texas where those imams are trying to blend in. They teach you in Texas to blend in and become one with the Kafirs. No, that's not how we do.
Could you also say, because people decorate their houses for Ramadan and for their Eid, that's bitter too, like they have Ramadan trees. That's also
I personally, I have my personal opinion on that, and I think it's the same thing. Yep, I think it's imitating. That's why I don't do that. I personally don't decorate nothing because I think it's just another way of trying to compete with the kafir and make your children blend in. My mother didn't do no decorating when I was a kid. I grew up in the 60s. She told me, Ramadan's here. You better get up and fast and pray. It ain't about no lights, trees, party. Party people go to hell. People that like to drop it like it's hot and party, they end up in hell. Yeah, I think so. That's my personal, but I usually keep my personal opinion out of stuff. Muslims today are weak. You know, each generation, as the prophet said, will become further and further and further away from the Sunnah. Each generation of Muslims will become weaker and weaker Today, for some reason, the Muslims in general here feel that you got to cater to the children by letting them feel that they're special, by letting them put up decorations like Christmas for Ramadan. That's garbage. Did the companions do that? Did the prophet do that? And Christmas has been practiced for centuries. Long before the prophet Muhammad received the call to prophethood, Christians were practicing. Christmas was being celebrated. Did the Arabs do that for Ramadan? Did the Quraysh, did the Ansar, did they decorate their houses for Ramadan? I don't do that stuff. I don't believe in that, but that's my personal thing. I believe in making my children strong. Remember, the strong believer is more loved by Allah than the weak one. Yeah. Any more questions about the bid'ah? Because I was shocked yesterday to see that those young brothers that I had to ban didn't know what innovation is. Okay, let me talk about this briefly. I only got a few slides. In order to be an ally of Allah, you have to understand that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to all mankind and jinn. He wasn't just sent to the Arabs. So there is no human being anywhere, nor any jinn living on this planet anywhere, upon whom the belief in the message of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and following him is not obligatory upon. So that means every human being on earth until the end of time, and every jinn on earth until the end of time is supposed to follow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his teachings. Even when Jesus alayhi salam comes back, he's not coming back as a prophet. He's going to be coming back as a leader, a ruler of the world. And what will he do? He will reestablish the Sunnah, because we're living in the days in which the Sunnah has become forgotten by most Muslims. Most of you don't know the Sunnah. And the Sunnah has become abandoned by the others. Well, when Jesus alayhi salam comes back, he's coming back to reinstate the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam Sunnah, not his. He's not going to be reinstating his Sunnah. Sunnah means example. He's not going to be reinstating his example. He's going to be reinstating the example of the Prophet Muhammad and the Quran, not the Bible, not the Injil, the Quran. The Injil was destroyed and replaced with the Quran. Everybody understand that? So either you follow this way or no way, because Allah tells us that he will not accept any other way other than the way of Islam. Okay? And so a lot of people, well, one of my new shahadas asked me, so when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam received the revelations of the Quran, did he teach the jinn too? The answer is yes. Yes. The jinn, one day, when Allah has sent the revelation through the angel Jibril to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the jinn heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam reciting the Quran. And these were believing jinn. They went back to their people and they told them, oh my, Allah has sent another prophet. Allah has sent another messenger. And Allah has sent down another book. Okay? Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to speak about the prophets. Every prophet that Allah sent not only gave dawah to the people that they were sent to, but they gave dawah to the jinn of those people that were there in that part where the people were too. So some of the jinns are Christian, just like us. Some of the jinns are Jewish, just like us. Some of the jinns are Muslim, just like us. And some of the jinns are atheists. Some of the jinns are just devils. Because every prophet that Allah sent went to the jinn too to give them the message. But the difference between the other prophets and the Prophet Muhammad is he was sent to all the jinn. His message, Islam, which is total submission, is for all jinn living and mankind. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning. And when we sent towards you a group of jinn, they listened to the Quran. When they attended it, they said to each other, listen. And when it was over, they went back to their people as warners. And they said to their people, O people, verily we have heard a book which has been sent down after Moses. It verifies that which came before it, and it guides to the truth and to a straight path. O our people, respond to this caller of Allah and believe in him so that he may forgive your sins and protect you from a painful punishment. Whoever does not answer to the caller of Allah will not be able to outdo Allah on this earth, and will have no allies to protect him from Allah. So these were the believing jinn. When they heard the prophet reciting, they went back and told their people, Allah has sent another book. He sent another messenger. We got to stop committing the sins we're committing and get on the right page, in other words. Also, Allah tells us more about this. Allah tells us in the interpretation of the meaning, say, it has been revealed to me that a group of jinn came and listened, and they said, we have heard an amazing recitation. It guides to good conduct. So we believe in it, and we will associate no one with our Lord. Verily, Allah, the high in greatness, has never taken a spouse nor offspring. Because like I told you guys, some of the jinn are Christian. They were Christian then, and some are Christian today. So these jinn said, we deny that. They said, surely our foolish ones used to speak bad things about Allah. We used to think that men and jinn would not speak a lie about Allah. And verily some men from among the humans used to seek refuge in men from among the jinn. And so the latter increased the former in their sin. So again, guys, Allah tells us about how when he sent the revelations of the Quran down to the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the jinn knew of it too. And also we have hadiths that speak about how our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would meet with the jinn. Every time a verse or a surah was sent down from the Quran, the Prophet would teach it to the companions, and he would also meet with the jinn in the desert and different places to teach them the words too. We have some of the companions who have said men used to, when they descended into a valley, whenever they would travel through a valley, they used to say, I seek refuge in the jinn of this valley. Okay? Because again, the Arabs were always afraid of the jinn, and they knew that the jinn lived in the mountains and lived in the valleys and stuff like that. So whenever the Arabs would go on trips through travel through the mountains or travel through a valley or the desert, they would seek refuge in the jinn. They would call upon the jinn to help them. And Allah speaks about this. He says in the interpretation of the meaning, some men from amongst the humans used to seek refuge from amongst the jinn. And so the jinn simply increased their disbelief and their fear. People are afraid of jinn. And I tell you guys, the jinn are not to be feared, because one word will make them run away from you. And that word is Allah. So the jinn were always, the Arabs were always aware of the jinn living amongst them. And so when Allah sent the Quran down, the Prophet would teach it to the Muslims, and also give dawah to the unbelieving humans. And he would also go out and speak to the jinn. Now, the jinn are part of the unseen world. That means none of us can see them, but the prophets of Allah. Allah gave the prophets the ability to see the jinn. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he would meet with the jinn, yes, he could see them physically because he was a prophet. And before Allah sent the first verse of the Quran down, the jinn used to be allowed to come in to the lowest heaven or the lowest sky, and they were allowed to eavesdrop on the language of the angels and what they were talking about. They were able to eavesdrop and listen to what the angels were saying about Allah, or what Allah was saying about what was going to happen. And then when Allah sent the first verses of the Quran down, Allah did not allow the jinn to eavesdrop anymore. So now when a jinn tries to eavesdrop, Allah will send a meteorite to knock them down. And so when you see falling stars, or you see a meteorite falling to the earth, that's Allah knocking the jinn away, because they're trying to eavesdrop on the conversations that the angels are having. Okay, and that's what this is talking about. How when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam received the call to prophethood, the jinns were not allowed to listen anymore. Allah says in the interpretation of meaning, we used to sit near the heaven in positions to hear, but whoever listens now will find balls of fire waiting to attack him. Okay? And it is not the devils who brought the Quran down. That is not proper for them, nor are they capable of it. They are isolated from listening. So the Quran was not revealed to the Prophet Muhammad by a jinn either. And that's important to know, because believe it or not, guys, there are some innovators out there who really believe that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam learned the Quran from jinn, and that's not true. Okay? So after those believing jinn heard the first words recited by the prophet and went back to their people, they came back to the prophet and asked him to teach them too. And that's when the prophet would meet with the jinn on a regular basis and teach them the religion too. He not only taught them the Quran, but he taught them, to follow his sunnah too. Okay? And he would meet with them in a place called Nasibain. And this is from an authentic hadith from Ibn Masud. In fact, after Surah Ar-Rahman, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam met with the jinn and read to them Surah Ar-Rahman. And he said to them, which of the signs of your Lord would you deny? And just as he emphasized that same surah to the companions, when the Prophet taught the jinn Surah Rahman, and when he asked them, which of the signs of your Lord will you deny? The jinn said, we deny none of your signs, Allah. Praise be to you. So those are the believing jinn. But like I told you guys, you don't have to worry about ever encountering a believing jinn. The believing jinns obey Allah, and Allah has commanded them all to stay away from humans, because the temptation to hurt us is bad. So the believing jinn, they obey Allah. They stay away from us. If they're walking past the mosque and hear the imam giving a khutbah, they may sit outside a nice distance away so as not to be tempted. But they're not going to come up on you. They're not going to come up on me. I was listening to a famous brother in United Kingdom. He was given a khutbah and he was talking about the jinn. And he was talking about the believing jinn. He said, it's possible that if your car breaks down in the desert and somebody comes to you out of nowhere and offers to fix your tire, that it could have been a believing jinn. And I just laughed and shook my head. Nope, the believing jinn would not come to help you fix a car. Because again, the desire to harm you is too great. Who does Allah send as our helpers? The angels of mercy. The angels are the helpers of man. So if a handsome person came to help you and change your tire, that was 9 times out of 10 an angel of mercy sent. Because the angels are the soldiers of Allah. And if Allah is going to send help to his allies, he would send the angels, not a jinn who he's commanded to stay away from you. So I just shook my head when I heard that brother say that. Okay? So our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to all mankind and jinn. And this is an honor, a great honor, because again, none of the other prophets were sent to all the jinn. They were only sent to the jinn of their nation. And even though Solomon alayhi salam had power over the jinn, that still is not the same as what our prophet has. Our prophet was sent as a prophet and messenger to them. That means they have to follow the prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. With Solomon, they had to obey him. That's a big difference. Also, guys, those evil jinn that don't follow the way of the prophet Muhammad or the Quran, they will be companions in the hellfire. Those jinn that do obey Allah and that do follow the Prophet Muhammad, they will be amongst the people of paradise. And so we have to believe that. The allies of Allah believe that. But unfortunately, guys, like I told you, there's a lot of Muslims out there who don't believe this about the jinn. There's a lot of Muslims out there that worship the jinn, that put more faith in jinn than they do the angels. When something good happens to them, they thank the jinn. When something bad happens to them, they blame the jinn. So we have to get our belief system correct. Our understanding of the jinn, our understanding of how to practice this religion, our understanding must be the same understanding that those original companions had. If it's not the understanding that those original companions had, we're lost like we are today. That's why Allah got all this war here. All right. Any questions or comments? And by the way, guys, for the new shahadas on Facebook, please, guys, I made a Facebook group for the new shahadas, and y'all can invite your friends to join. I changed the name of it to Sunnahfollowers Shahada. Y'all see it on the ticker there? So that'll make it easy for y'all to join. Just go to Facebook groups and then put Sunnahfollowers Shahadas. It's all one word. Invite your new Shahada friends to join. And okay, you Christians interested in Islam can join it too. But I'm going to tell you, Christians, If y'all bring those bad Christians in there that's got all that mouth, they getting banned. Homegirl don't play. But yeah, but I got some Christians here who've been listening to us trying to learn about Islam. You want to join that group? Yeah, you can join. Just make sure you don't come in here with that group with no crazy stuff. And Brother Shaheed, is he here? Brother Shaheed, make sure you accept that invite I sent for you to be an administrator of that group. I want Brother Shaheed to keep his eye on that group. Precious, sent you an thing too. Y'all keep an eye on that new Shahada group. Yeah, but you Christians can join it. Yeah, just make sure y'all don't put ain't no Jesus love you. I better not come on there and see no Jesus love me. Yeah, I do. I better not see that Jesus love me stuff. Or no Bible. Yeah. And yes, you can share it. Yeah, go ahead. You can share it. Yeah, share it with y'all's new Shahada friends and stuff, guys. Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Zoom room.
Sister Layla, how are the jinn gonna be punished in the hellfire if they're made out of smokeless fire?
Because nothing in the hereafter is anything like this world. They're made out of smokeless fire. They're not made out of fire. The fire of hell is nothing like smokeless fire. Different substances.
Yeah. Oh, I also have a question. Because this class reminded me when we talked about how everyone has a jinn and an angel assigned to them. Do the jinns have the same? They also have a jinn assigned to them?
Okay, no, the jinn that's assigned to you was put there by Allah to try to seduce you to hell. Okay. So he's a bad jinn. He's not a good one. No, he's an evil denizen of Shaitan who's already damned by Allah for hell. The prophet said if you follow him, you will be his companion. He's going to be with you in hell. That jinn that's assigned to you and me, he's a denizen of Shaitan. He ain't good. He ain't nothing but pure, filthy evil. He already knows he's going to hell. That's why he's put there to try to make you his companion. So no, so there's no need for him to have a jinn assigned to him. He's already the jinn. He is the jinn.
No, I was talking about the jinn, like when we were talking about the believing jinn.
Oh, the believing jinn, yeah, but not the ones assigned to us. They evil.
Okay.
They ain't got nowhere to go but down.
Let me ask you a question, Sister Layla. So I understand that you say the jinns reside in like places like the forest, these kind of areas. Do they carry a scent? Like, say, suppose we're out, like probably in those areas. Because the reason I asked, because someone was telling a story how they had came, across one or whatnot, but it was a very foul scent, and I was like, they weren't Muslim, but when they brought that up.
Well, first of all, the jinn are part of the unseen world. That means we cannot see them. We cannot, none of that. But so anybody tell you they saw a jinn, they told you a lie. Because no human being can see a jinn except a prophet. And there are no prophets after the prophet Muhammad. Okay? And do they carry a scent? Like I said, they're part of the unseen world. You will never see or smell unless they want you to. Now, they may make filthy stuff happen to keep you from stepping on their babies. They may do things to keep, but can you see them, touch them, feel them like that? No, because they're part of the unseen world. They're separate from us. So if a person told you they came upon a jinn, they're a liar. Because they'll never come upon one, because they ain't going to know one if they seen them. They can transform. Jinn can take on the appearance of an ugly animal to scare you away, or an ugly person. They can take on the appearance of a pig and try to ram you down to get you away from them. They can take on the appearance of a rat, something ugly, a dog, a snake. Maybe that snake that you almost stepped on was a jinn trying to tell you, get back from my babies. But as far as somebody saying that they actually saw a jinn, they're a liar. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Even when people are possessed, they don't see their jinn.
Oh no, I know that one. The reason I asked is because my mother usually shares stories with me, and I know in her country, like where she was raised up at, her and her cousin used to always like tell them like what was going on. They used to always, they have it in Scotland. They used to always bring up these stories and whatnot, but they always say we see the same thing, but it's scary. It's like a one-legged.
Yeah, the jinns can take on. Yeah. They could have seen jinn taking on the appearance of something to run them away. Like I said, like Sasquatch. We hear that all the time. Down there where you are in Texas, they just had it in the news. Somebody saw Sasquatch again. You see them all the time. So that could, but that could have been a jinn taking on appearance. But as far as seeing the real jinn, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, an appearance. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. An appearance, not the actual.
Yeah, it could be anything that takes on the appearance to run you away. Yeah, it could be anything. Yeah, they don't want you to step on their kids and kill their kids. They got children. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk about the jinn in another class. I'm going to talk about the angels and the jinn after this series later, inshallah. Okay, any other questions? Yes, I do have the, that's what I'm getting ready to do now, the PowerPoint. The how to pray class. No, this is the marriage. Yeah, we'll be talking back about polygamy. Yeah, at 9:30. So let me log out now, guys. I have to do the PowerPoint. And I'm glad you asked me. This is not the prayer class. This is going to be the marriage class. And I got to do that PowerPoint right now. Lord, have a mercy. All right, guys. I'll be back at 9:30, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.